Yep.
Donald Trump level
Very
creepy. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. You know, and I want people to also understand that all of these Republicans know about Project 2025. They really do. And I can see this Mike Johnson fellow, I could see him championing this and really getting into it because it talks about, you know, Christianity, putting prayer back in school, you know, making this a Christian nation, et cetera, et cetera. And I can see this man going full-fledged forward with it. I really can. You know, steam ahead. I can see him doing that. So we have to think about all this stuff. We have to think about our democracy is, I can't express it enough. I try to on a daily basis. Our democracy is under attack. We all know it. I mean, we know it. But do enough Americans feel what we feel? Do they see what we see? Do they understand what we understand? That there is a current group of people, and there's a lot of them, like the Heritage Foundation and all those conservative
Federalist Society. They elected the Supreme Court. There's a lot of them. And the trouble is that people are on their internet networks, and they only look at Fox News and similar crappy things like that, and they don't hear other sides. They don't listen to the unbiased news like NPR or something. They just only hear the propaganda over and over and over again because that's what they want to hear. So they're not listening to the truth.
Yep.
And Speaker Mike Johnson's wife should be visited our website that compared homosexuality to bestiality. So they really hate gays and want to see gays dead and everything. But Pete Buttigieg, the Secretary of Transport, had a response, and it was a great response. And I'll tell you, one day, this guy may become president of the United States one day. This is Pete Buttigieg.
I love him.
I will admit it's a little bit difficult driving the family minivan to drop our kids off at daycare, passing the dome of the Capitol, knowing that the Speaker of the House sitting under that dome doesn't even think our family ought to exist. Being gay was a choice. That was a choice that was made way above my pay grade. But my lifestyle is that I'm a dad. I'm a married father of two, a beautiful boy and girl, twins, 2 years old. And our family deserves to be protected. It deserves to be supported, just like every American family. I will admit it's a little bit difficult.
Yep. So, you know, that was a very diplomatic answer by Pete Buttigieg, the Transport Secretary in the Biden administration.
He's brilliant, and he lives by me now. He's brilliant.
He is brilliant. And he's doing a fantastic job as well.
Yeah, he is. And people don't realize what he's doing either.
No, he's all over the country. He is all over the country with
he
the
fixed the airlines. He's trying to fix the damn railroads because they don't want to repair anything because it costs money, so they don't make as much or pay their people what they should be paid. Only 3 guys on a long train. Give me a break.
Yep. There's one last thing we need to talk about before. And it's,
before that, we'll have one last caller. We'll have 19 minutes left. And say your first name and where you're calling from. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. What's cooking tonight?
Hey, how you doing? This is Rich. And listening to your show, I really like it. I wanted to get your opinion on something because I'm a conservative Christian. What's your opinion about the founders believing that the rights came from God? You know how it says that they're endowed by their creator? Do you agree with that rights come from God? Kind of quiet over there. Anyone want to answer?
Are you talking about the Bible, or did God speak to everybody?
Good question. Let me read it to you. I'll read you the actual quote. This is from the unanimous declaration. I'm not going to read the whole declaration, of course, but it says, laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. Now, this is when they want to break off from England. Now, the last sentence I'll tell you, and this is the question, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So the majority of the founders, of course, well, they all were theists, and there were a few deists, and they did sign their name to the Declaration of Independence Constitution. So what's your opinion? Do you agree with the founders, what they thought, that the rights come from God, an actual God that they believe exists?
Because they didn't, well, Rich, thank you for calling and everything, but the creator could be Allah, Buddha, it could be God, it could be whatever you believe. You know, they didn't specify any religion.
Actually, they did. They signed it in the year of our Lord, referring to Jesus Christ. I noticed you didn't say Jesus Christ. I don't know why you kind of left the most famous person in world history out. So the fact that, anyways, that's my question was, what's your opinion, though? Do we all agree that the founders, I'm not saying if you agree with it, but do we agree with the fact, and it is a fact, that the founders believed that the rights came directly from God? Yes or no?
What rights?
I don't know what right you're talking about.
I'll read it.
What rights are you talking about?
All the rights that they talked about, like in the Declaration, the Constitution, the ones that the founders talked about. Life, liberty,
one of the rights was the separation of church and state.
There's no writing in the Declaration or Constitution that says separation of church and state.
Well, I'm paraphrasing.
You're in error.
I don't have the Constitution in front of me. You do.
Well, the Constitution doesn't say it. It doesn't say separation. So it says that they believed that the men were created by God and that they're endowed by their Creator.
You're only repeating one paragraph. What about the rest of the Constitution?
That's the only question I have.
Constitution setting
that's the only question I have.
How can we have a debate when we don't have the Constitution in front of us?
I think what it really is you just don't want to admit that it says what I just said.
No, sir. You cannot have a debate unless everybody has the Constitution in front of them.
Well, why don't you pull it up? I'll wait.
I can't. I'm on a phone.
Well, here's what it says. That they're endowed by their Creator.
And you have been sitting there studying your line for probably days. Now, you are trying to put us in a debate. Now, if you want to put us in a debate, it could be in the future. But don't get us cold.
1 second.
It's a simple question. You guys should really know this.
This is a setup, and you know it. You don't get us cold.
Elaine, hold on. Thomas Jefferson established a clause. It's a free exercise clause of the First Amendment of the United States Constitution, which reads, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise. The principle is paraphrased by Thomas Jefferson's separation between church and state. So let me ask you a question. Should church and state be separated?
I noticed you didn't answer my question, but I'll answer yours. Okay. I'm just saying if you guys are going to.
I will get 1 second. I'm trying to understand. Sure. I'm trying to understand because I've all my life. I'm a Christian myself, but I have always gone.
Really?
1 second. I've always known that there is a separation of church and state. I have always known that, and I've never questioned it. I've never questioned it.
Well, I'll explain to you what that is.
Something different. That's my question.
I'm going to answer your question, but before I do, the question that I asked you guys, no one answered it. The answer should have been, yes, of course the founders believed in God, and they signed it in the year of our Lord, referring.
One moment, 1 second. How do we know what the founders really believed? We weren't alive at that time. We only know what they wrote, and it's interpreted, in my opinion. You can interpret a lot of things in the Bible in many different ways. So we can't go into this discussion. We don't have time.
Listen, Rich, John Adams, the second president, he said the government of the United States is not, in any sense, founded on Christian religion.
We're not talking about the government. We're not talking about the government. The question was, when the founders founded the government, we're talking about rights. The question, you guys, let me go through it again. You're avoiding it or something. It says the founders believed that the rights came from God. Yes or no?
No, from the Creator. They didn't say God. They said the Creator. The Creator is whomever deity you believe in. The Creator.
Yeah, Creator means God, sir. God. That's what it means.
No, that's your interpretation.
And I'm going to show you how it means. It says God, G-O-D. G-O-D. G-O-D.
I guess I don't understand.
It says it right there, God.
Okay, so who is God to you? Tell me who is God to you. Who is God to you?
I'm going to answer your question about the separation also, because you did ask me that, so out of respect to you, I'll answer that. There was a letter. You are in error that the separation of church and state appears in the Constitutional Declaration of Independence. It does not. Well, then where did they get this? There was a member of the clergy, a person that believed in God, and he wrote to Jefferson, and he was afraid that this government would be like, let's say socialist, communist, tyrannical, or something like the King of England wanted. And he's like, look, are we going to be able to, worship our God, or how is this government going to be hostile to us? And what Jefferson was referring to, he said, there'll be like a wall of separation. Some scholars believe like a one-way wall, which is why people can pray in government and can say prayers in government, just like the Speaker of the House, as you guys know, he talked about God. They didn't take him out in chains and shackles. But so the separation is not in Constitutional Declaration, but I wanted to point that out to you, that it is obviously clear, and this is my last point, and you guys are so nice. I really love your show. But my last point, it is obviously clear that the founders believed that the rights came from God. Reagan talked about this. He said, if you look at the other constitutions like China, Russia, it does not say that. It is the government that grants the rights. In America, this is why we say God bless America. In America, the founders believe, you guys don't have to believe it, and of course you have your right to believe or not believe, but it can never be questioned that the founders believed that the rights came from God and go to the people. And it even says it there. You should really read the Declaration of Independence. Sometimes it says that it's the government's job to protect those rights that come from God. The reason why it's dangerous, and I think Thomas Jefferson, the second lady I talked to, she brought up a good point about Jefferson. Jefferson realized it's dangerous to put this power into only government. He realized there must be something ontological outside of government where that grants these rights. So government doesn't grant the rights. It says that they're endowed by their creator with certain inalienable rights. And in all due respect to the male host of this show, he's incorrect. He said it doesn't say God. It does say God. It says laws of nature and listen, nature's God. So God isn't some nature thing. So the founders believe that. So I just thought I would call up and bring that, because I heard you guys kind of talking about Christians. And I was kind of thinking, thank you so much.
Can I make a point?
God bless you guys.
Okay, God bless you as well. Okay. Yeah, that was Rich and everything. We'll thank him for calling in. Okay, but I want to ask the Christians out there. In the Bible, it says you have permission to rape your slaves, and you have permission to stone whomever wear makeup and clothes with different cloths. You know, so the cherry picking. And Thomas Jefferson, in his letter to John Adams in 1823, the letter stated, "The day will come when the mystical generation of Jesus by the Supreme Being in the womb of a virgin will be classed with the fable of the generation of Minerva in the brain of Jupiter. But we may hope that the dawn of reason and freedom of thought in the United States will do away with all this artificial scaffolding."
That was very interesting. I hope that Christianity is another problem that we have in this country, because there are so many people that take that Bible and they read it, and I feel, and I have a Bible, I have had it forever, and anyone that reads a sentence, I truly believe that you can interpret it in the way that you're thinking. You can think of a way to interpret it, and then the next person interprets it a different way. So, and the Bible was written by man. Man is not perfect. So personally myself, go by the Bible. I go by my feelings, and my feelings are just to be good to people. If they need help, try to help them. Have sympathy, have empathy, and have love. And that's being a Christian. And that's basically all you need in this world, is that. That's how I feel.
I resent the fact that when you said you were a Christian, Laurie, he had the condescending term, really?
I know. I heard him.
That's a Christian? No, it's not.
That's exactly my point. It's normally all the, when you meet somebody, and this has happened to me many times, and when you meet somebody and you say hi, you give them your name and all that, and, maybe a half hour later, all of a sudden they tell you they're a Christian. It's like, okay, what am I supposed to do? Bow down to you now? What am I supposed to do? So, I mean, that didn't even faze me, because that's nothing that, I had a sister years ago that when she became a born-again Christian, she was telling me and my other sisters that, we're all going to go to hell. So that's what I'm used to when, these people become so involved in their religion. So it doesn't faze me.
Growing up, I remember the Protestants were going to hell and the Catholics were going to hell, because one was Catholic and one was Protestant. So you know what? I guess we're all going to hell.
Yeah. So I mean, who knows? Like I said, go ahead.
Yeah, there's no way America will turn into it's not going to turn into a Christian nation, because we're not founded on Christianity, and the quicker, some people realize that, the better off we'll be, because look what's happening to theocracies now, Iran, where else? Pakistan, for example. It doesn't work. There should be a separation between religion and politics, because, religion just spoils everything.
Yep. And
anyway,
and we're not. David, I stress this. We're not saying that you should not, If you are religious and you want to go to church every single day, and there is no one telling you not to do that. But you can't have other people telling you that you have to pray a certain way. You have to believe a certain way. You have to believe in a certain God, because it's not going to work in this country. That's it.
Mm-hmm.